Josh Horlbrog. And so let's start with, I had this crazy dream last night that Obama came to speak at one of my old schools that I went to, and in the dream, so he's speaking and in like a classroom of kids, and he would walk up behind kids, and he would put his hands on their shoulders, you know. So that's better. So he would put his hands on their shoulders, and then they would turn around, and then he would be like, "I'm Obama," you know, and then they'd start talking. And then after that, so he's talking to people, and then I say to somebody there with me, I sitting there with me, I say, you know, I'm not 100% on campaigning and all that. I don't know too much about that, but I'm tending to think that he's doing this because if you get the kids, you get the moms of the kids, and if you get the women, then the men follow, and that's his campaign strategy, is to, you know, want to flash dance the kids, and then the kids go home and tell their moms, "Oh, Obama came," and then the mothers would tell the husbands, and I was explaining that to somebody in the dream, and then I said I would look at it the other way, because I wouldn't vote for Obama again. Anybody who has watched his political track record, promises made versus kept, why would you vote for him twice? And I'm saying this to this person in the dream, and I'm saying I would look at it as a negative if a child of mine came home and said that Obama came to his school and was, you know, campaigning to kids. And then Obama actually comes over in the dream and says, you know, he's standing over me, and he says, "What's that?" You know, and I said, I was just saying to my friend that, you know, I don't know what sort of campaign strategy you're having here, you know, campaigning to children. And then I said, well, I guess, like, what else are you gonna do? Go play basketball with people? Go for a beer? I don't know. And then he kind of laughed, and he said, yeah, we'll come back and I'll talk with you about that. And then he walked away to never sort of return. And then I kept thinking in my dream, oh, that was stupid to say, because now he's gonna think that, oh, what, because the color of my skin, I gotta play basketball or something like that. And I kept thinking, like, oh man, that was stupid. And then he gets off in a black SUV, and the guy can't start it. A white guy with a shaved head, he couldn't start it. And in the dream, I'm looking at them in a classroom in a black SUV, like a Yukon, and he's trying to start it, and he can't. And I'm thinking, why is there a black SUV in a classroom? And then he started it, and we, you know, drive through the door, and then he gets outside, and then there's a gun in my hand or something like that, and I fire a few shots off, and then everybody comes out, like these people dressed up as a janitor, these people, all these undercover agents, they had snipers and all that, basically like 300, you know, workers for the government of the United States comes out of the school, and they're all looking around, who shot the gun, and get the president away, get him in the Viper. And they said Viper or something like that in the dream, and then he got in this like super nifty looking red thing, and red car, and then drove away. And I think that's pretty much where I started like running, and then it turned into sort of another dream where I was being held like pretty much naked, being held like hostage by these weird people in mud, like in like a mud area, and then I'm escaping, and there's a fence, and I'm trying to escape. So like I get to the point where I see them looking at me, and I run out, and I'm just basically carrying like a blanket or towel around me, and then I'm running, and then I'm near my old house where I grew up, and I'm trying to run in the dream and can't really run, so I'm trying to run really slow, like move my feet, fast, but in short spaces. And then I get to the house, and there's like some really big girl laying in bed, and then a few other people, and they're all happy to see me. One of my exes was there, and they're all happy to see me, and I'm thinking, like, I'm covered in mud, and they're saying, "You smell like bacon." And I'm like, why do I smell like bacon? I haven't eaten pork in like 12 years. Why do I smell like bacon? And I'm like, I gotta go take a shower. And then they're like, oh, somebody's in the bathroom, you can't. So I'm just standing there after being like held hostage or like captive, or I don't know. It was just a crazy dream. And then the dream switches again, and now I'm cooking bacon for my mom. And I'm saying, like, because she's got this ready-made bacon, and she doesn't know how to cook it, and she can't like read the instructions on it, or can't follow the instructions. So I say, okay, here, give it to me, and I'll show you how to cook it. So I take the bacon, and I'm cooking it for her, and in the dream, it's like tiny little strips, and I said, look, Mom, when it gets brownish like that and crispy, that's when you want it. And then I give her a piece, and she eats it. She's like, yeah, that's good. And I think that's when I finally woke up, and I'm just like waking up like, what the heck? It's such a crazy dream. And I went to bed last night at 7:30 p.m. and I woke up like I usually do it, like 6 o'clock in the morning, and then I kind of rested a bit more, got up at 7. But yeah, pretty much 12 hours sleep, and definitely loved it. So that's my crazy dream. Yeah, the night before last, I was helping a friend drywall his ceiling, so I couldn't really sleep well that night for some reason. And the night before, was really busy at work, so busier than usual, and I couldn't sleep as well properly that night. You lay your head down and you don't sleep, but I'm used to getting like a lot of sleep, 10 hours a night. I go to bed early and wake up early because I enjoy sleeping, not because I'm trying to be antisocial or avoid people. It's because when you're dreaming and have the cool dreams that I do, like most of my dreams I'm flying around, literally flying, or like having like just awesome dreams. Like when you weigh that out, the infinite possibilities of wicked dreams versus like staying up late and like, getting all tired and squinty-eyed and passing out at places, and getting tired, I'd rather just go to bed early, so. I couldn't get too much sleep during the week, so last night I got 12 hours sleep, and right now it's almost 11 a.m. and I came to the office here to record this, but I'm not working today. I don't work on Saturdays. So, just came to say hi to the viewers of the Adam, Josh, Earl, Brog, and do this. I also wanted to talk about the New World Order and current geopolitics, but I'm thinking I might do that in a different video vlog, because this one's sort of been all about my dream last night. Should I or should I not? That's the question. Really, all I wanted to say was, you know, it's hard to get into the mind of somebody that, or a group of people that don't have as much empathy, you know, for outsiders, as it's hard to get into that mindset. People that don't have empathy, and it's hard to get into the mindset of why would anybody want to, you know, have a or purposely go and, you know, conquer the world or have a one world government. Why would anybody want to go murder other people? Why would anybody want to take over governments and blah blah blah? Some people just can't get their mind around it. But I think it's because for the most of us, life is getting by, or life is paying the bills and surviving, and we're kept at that lower rung of you know, plebiscites or oh man, 11 a.m. What is the word? The proles, the proletarian? I forgot the word. So, for people that fantasize about what it would be like to have $1 million, you know, they think like, oh wow, you know, for those type of people, you know, most of them aren't the type of people that would engage in this world dominance. But so if you put yourself in the other position of you have more money than you could ever spend in a lifetime, you know, your kids and their kids and their kids are taken care of. You have land, you know, you have houses, boats, cars, airplanes. You get to the point where, you know, you wake up in the morning, take a deep breath, look around, and you're like, yep, got everything I need. What do you want to do now? And then, you know, somebody says, let's take over the world, or, you know, let's go bug somebody else. And for some people, that could be entertaining, you know? When you have everything you need, let's go cause some trouble. Let's go start a war. And it might be hard to understand for some people. Like drifting would be hard to understand for some people. You see these pretty popular in Saudi Arabia, or these guys with like way too much time and way too much money to burn, and or like the Sultan of Brunei. That might be hard to understand. His epic wealth, and he's got like 500, you know, Mercedes. He's got the biggest car collection in the world. He's got like all sorts of different vehicles. There's people, you know, what Saddam Hussein had like gold-plated boats, you know, diamond-encrusted toilets, epic castles all over, and that getting into a mindset where you have all that is hard to understand for people that like rent an apartment in a cemented city and go to work 9 to 5 at a, you know, call center, and are paying off their credit bills. the credit card bills, and going to the movies on the weekend and getting drunk with their friends is the highlight of their life, and maybe once or twice a year they get to go on vacation. Might be hard to understand, and for them, and to a large degree, that type of lifestyle is something that you have to be born into. You know, if you wake up one morning, or you wake up being born into, you know, the Rothschild or Rockefeller family, you know, that's a bit different than waking up and being born into, like, you know, born in the body of a crack baby, or born in the body of somebody who's, you know, on the lowest end of family income or median income. A bit different. So, and then we have the illusion in North America that, you know, by your own merits you'll succeed, and by your own, you know, if you do good at your job, then you'll advance, and one day, blah 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 blah. But I think everybody's starting to realize, on average, that if you work at Tim Hortons, or if you work at Dunkin' Donuts, or if you work at Wendy's your entire life, there's not going to be a point where you have, you know, a castle in Ireland and can travel the world and have a jet airplane. That's not gonna, the income that's being afforded to you is enough to pay your bills and eat food and pay for everything. And then, you know, people are starting to realize, hey, being a slave all your life doesn't, at the end of your life, you don't get to the point where you finally become a multi-billionaire or trillionaire. So people are starting to realize that and smarten up and realize, hey, so do I want to be a slave all my life or not? And we say that slavery, you know, was abolished whenever, or we say that, you know, people talk about, criticize the scriptures, the Torah, because they say, oh, it endorses slavery. But if you're working for minimum wage 40, 80 hours a week, isn't that slavery? If you're stuck in one spot, in a city or in a small town with no choice, you know, and nowhere to go, isn't that slavery? It's another thing that people are starting to realize, that with increased money and with increased wealth comes options. Here's an example. If you're dirt poor, you know, got 20 bucks to your name on the streets of Philadelphia and are homeless, there's a good chance that you're not going to be able to, if you want to, get on an airplane, go to Jamaica, party for a week, then go to Vegas, and you know, then see Europe and backpack across Europe, and then you know, come back to the streets of Philadelphia in a month. There's a good chance that's not going to happen. One, because if you have $20, that's not enough to get a passport, to first of all buy the ticket, to get on the airplane, to pay for the airplane to get to, etc., etc. And people are starting to realize that, and wake up and realize that increased wealth and money and wealth gives you more opportunities, and you know, so the people, David Rockefeller has been quoted saying, competition is a sin. And so we live in this illusion of the American dream, or that, like, you know, if you do good, you'll prosper. If you continue to do good, just be a good slave your entire life. And one day, you know, the stars will align and trillions of dollars will just flood into your bank account. And that's not how it works. And the people who have trillions of dollars or billions of dollars, first of all, usually aren't in Forbes' richest, you know, magazine, richest men magazine. Like they said, they want you to believe that Bill Gates is the richest person in the world, which is absolutely nonsense. If you just look up Wikipedia, go on Wikipedia and look up the Rothschilds, a Wikipedia page. I mean, or the Queen of England. Like, the Queen of England owns Canada, owns the British colonies, and owns New Zealand and Australia. Like, it's not a figurative ceremonial thing. Like, she literally owns the land, and that's not for sale. It's not up for debate. She owns it. You know, the United States had their Independence Day, and independence from the eastern motherlands that they left from to come to the West, North America. And they had their Independence Day, but Canada, you know, we still have her face on our money, etc., etc., constantly reminding us that, hey, where was I? We have this illusion that if you, you know, do well and, you know, can just work your entire life, one day you'll get lots of money. And the people that are in those positions of having castles and planes and jet airlines and the Richard Bransons and the Sultan of Brunei's and the queens and the royal family, when you become a speck on their radar, you know, when you become, if you ever get to that point of becoming a flea on their radar, you know what they'll do. You know what Google has done. What did Google do? You remember as well as I do. YouTube and Google were in competition for a long time to have who's going to have the more popular video hosting, and Google tried Google Video for a while, and then eventually Google bought the company of YouTube, much to YouTube owners' glee. I mean, I'm sure they got paid out well, and if all you want is money, then there you go. So when you become a speck on their radar, because David Rockefeller and that logic has said that competition is a sin, they'll buy you out, and if you don't buy out or sell out, then you can see what happens. Saddam Hussein, Muammar Gaddafi, etc., etc. If you don't buy out, don't buy our toys, buy our weapons. If you don't trade your oil in U.S. dollars, if you even think about getting off the Federal Reserve Central Bank Ben Bernanke system and switching to a gold-based system, if you even have that thought, or consider telling people to switch from the central bank financial dictatorship, oligopoly, scientific dictatorship of currency-based terrorism, if you decide to get off of that and switch to an actual real currency like silver or gold or anything else, then we will use whatever means we can. A humanitarian catastrophe, we will take you over and install another puppet government that we can control and that will play our games, our reindeer games with us. So if you don't play games with the people who already have all the wealth and power, you don't play the way they want you to play, the unfortunate thing is that they have all the weapons, all the advanced weapons, the military, Blackwater, etc., etc., armies, navy, they have all the guns and all the weapons, all the bulletproof vests, and if you are thinking in your, you know, I have $1 million in my bank account and a small business, if you are thinking that you're going to be any sort of flea on their radar, you're insane, you know. If you're a country, you know, as you can see, that is trying to be different, like Iran or Libya, you can see what happens. These New World Order oligarch types have a monopoly on the chessboard, on the game of geopolitics. So we're here like the small brother, or the small guy, the midget, mad that the bully is constantly bullying, and we're saying, one day karma's gonna catch up to you. You know, we're the Davids yelling at Goliath, and the Goliath is, you know, doing whatever Goliath does, totally indifferent to little David's attitude. In the end, we believe that, you know, that we'll have that power of fate and karma and our creator on our side, and we'll have those smooth stones that can sink into his forehead, and we'll take that sword and decapitate the Goliath and hold it up and tell everybody that the little guy wins in the end. Don't worry, good prevails. And I believe that, and I'm sure you believe that in your heart of hearts, but it's hard to explain that to the children of families in Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen, Libya that have been murdered or are victims of casualties of war or whatever. So I believe that in the end the good guys win, but we're not in the end, we're right now. And right now you can see the wake of destruction that the New World Order leaves in its path, that Goliath leaves behind, you know, goes through the forest and leaves nothing but twigs after him. And here all the little guys are analyzing geopolitics, and like Karl Rove said, you know, we create reality. We're the architects of reality, and you'll judiciously study it, as you will. As you will. And we'll just create another reality, you know. So, not that Karl Rove is anybody, but compared to like the Rothschilds or Rockefellers dynasties, you know. So this is where we are in history, and you know, you can spend a lifetime analyzing what the people who have amassed great amounts of wealth, more so than you and I could imagine. You can spend your life analyzing what they do, or you can live your own life. Hey, instead of chasing the paper, just live your life. And paper, that's a whole other thing, yeah. So they've rigged modern cities. Every modern city is sort of like a rigged game, you know. If you live in the city, you know, I don't slaughter meat I don't slaughter cows for meat. I don't go to my garden and dig up my vegetables. You know, the tea that I'm drinking, I bought from Tetley, you know, and they did all the work for me, and I gave them money. So I mean, we're so dependent on things that we don't see living in the city, that it's one thing to say move to the country and figure it out for yourself, but if you're living in the city, you're sort of already suckling from the teat of the grander players on the chessboard of life. So me thinking that you know, or anybody thinking that you can fight the New World Order on anything else, anything greater than an information war, if you think that you can take it to a physical level, and anybody that thinks they can actually have like a brute force, us versus them type battle between you and the scientific dictatorship oligopoly people, you're insane, and you're playing right into their hand. Ideas are bulletproof, and you can tell people what's going on. You can be the Davids and you know, tell your friends what's going on, and tell them, hey, you know, this is what's happening. Look at them, you know, and but thinking that you can reduce this conflict of clash of the wills to a physical brute force, us versus them. You know, first of all, you have to define them, you know, and the honest, hardworking cop that is supporting a family and sort of disillusioned that thinks he's a part of the system isn't your enemy and isn't the face of the New World Order either. So, you know, you're not attacking David Rockefeller. You're not attacking the Queen of England or the New World Order system, or you're not attacking Zbigniew Brzezinski when you you know, smash a cop's car window or resist arrest. You're not fighting them. You know. And if you do decide to take it to a physical anarchist rule level, like I said, you're playing right into their hand, because with the media controlling perception, and for people who watch TV, not that I watch TV, I don't even own a TV, but for when they are able to control the perception, they can say, oh look, they attacked us. This small group of anarchists who thought they could make a difference, or whatever, they're freedom fighters, they attacked us with guns, and now we have to. You know, we had to shoot them all in the face, and we had to, you know, use our FEMA camps and all that. We had to do this, and we had to do that. It's justified, humanitarian aid. So, that's my ranting about the New World Order, really. So tell your friends in the police forces and the SWAT teams and the armies and navies, you know, what's going on. And if you can, I don't know if you can teach empathy to people, but one day, you know, things are getting better and information is spreading and things are getting better. And as far as public awareness goes, Zbigniew Brzezinski is the one who said, you know, more people are awake than ever were before. There people are learning about our new world order. You know, and that's. But the other side of that is, if everybody knows what the Goliaths are doing, if you can trace and track every single thing that Goliath is doing, and you can point it out with detail, and you've categorized it and spent since 1997 documenting every sort of step of the geopolitical elite, doesn't change the fact that they're doing it. You knowing what Goliath is doing doesn't stop Goliath from doing it. You telling everybody, hey, look, this is what he's doing. It's not stopping him from doing it. Stopping him is stopping him. Talking about stopping him or talking about what he's doing isn't doing it. So then you get into the whole, you know, we're just fans of the New World Order. If everybody was in the know, the conspiracy theorists and the people that spend their entire life on talk radio describing what the New World Order is doing would be out of work, right? If everybody knew, then if everybody's in the know, then there's no secrets. So people who thrive and make business off of having hidden knowledge and sell their DVDs and box sets and cassettes, if everybody knew, they wouldn't be able to sell. So it's a conundrum that we're in, you know. But like I said, in the end, the good guys win. And if none of this made sense to you, close your eyes and go back to sleep and go to your dreams, where you can fly around and have fun. Because you know, I woke up in this body, in this world, on this planet that's spinning rapidly through space, going through a galaxy that's spinning through a universe that's moving. We're moving in a direction, and I don't know where we're going. We're like a wanderer, you know. We're like on a journey, on a pilgrimage through space. And our Geo elite masters don't have any intention, as far as I can see, of telling us about life on other planets, and if they knew 100%, you know, being at the bottom rung and being the slaves to the pharaohs, and you know, we're here to build the pyramids for them to increase their wealth, and the rich rob from the poor and give to themselves. You know, what purpose would it serve us to know about life on other planets? So they're not going to tell us. If they knew 100%, we're not going to tell you. What do you need to know for? You're here to work for us. We own you. You got a birth certificate? That's a number. Yeah, we gave you that birth certificate. We own you. You work for us. Go get a job at Tim Hortons and pay your taxes and live and pay all your money to the gas company, pay your property taxes, and we own you. We own you. We don't want you. We own you. So, this is the world we live in. That's the Adam Josh Oral Broad. I didn't expect myself to go off on a gigantic, unscripted tangent there, but that's what we did. Tell your friends, get a job.